Portions of our programming have been pre-recorded. The Good Neighbor Network, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna. Flagship station for MTSU Sports. The views and opinions on this show are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of WGNS, its management, other hosts, or advertisers.
This is Conversations with Mike Sparks.
Are you concerned with the state of America, your state, your community? Then you're in the right place. State Representative Mike Sparks. He and guests are here to talk about local politics, history, faith, and freedom.
All right, so this conversation, Mike Sparks playing Roger Thomas's favorite song from back in the day. You and your East Fork boys hanging out the boat ramp.
Man, you worried me out
Anyways,
already.
we got a big show coming up tonight. We've got one of the sheriff's candidates coming up, Kenneth Barrett. And Roger, I appreciate you scheduling this for me. We had Mayor Joe Carr on last week, and we had Craig Harris on week before. We got Randy Allen coming on when?
Next week.
Next week.
Yeah, then we have the other two candidates of sheriff, which we have Kenneth Barrett here shortly.
Yep. Well, being Easter, it was good. Thought it'd be difficult, but Kenneth stepped up. He said he'd be happy.
Yeah, we really do appreciate that.
Well, he's got his whole family out here.
Oh yeah, really nice family.
That's good.
Really nice, really nice.
His family's voting for him.
Well, he's got a big family.
A lot of Barretts out there in the world, But yeah, you got a couple things you want to share before we get into Kenneth.
This fella come by the day. He did some chairs. He did this Kim Dry stuff for me, but it was called Safe Drive Carpet. Michael Batchelder is how you say his last name. He did it, man, and he did a really good job. I said, man, I'm gonna give you a shout out because I tried to young people. Was trying to do good, and this guy was 18 and did a great job. But I thought I'd give him a hit, shout out.
That's good. Is he listening?
I hope so.
What's his name again?
Michael Batch. Well, let's see. I can't even say it. It's
Let me look at it.
Here.
yeah. It's Batchelder, Bachelder.
Okay.
Michael, I knew it from my son's name. I can remember that.
Well, folks need encouragement though, man.
Yeah, they do, and you do it also. Guys, we see young guys out there kind of hitting it because you just don't see the work ethic anymore. And that's what I try to point out is the work ethic some of these guys got. And you can tell. You'll know 2 minutes.
We worked hard back in the day.
Yeah, but Mike, I was going to bring something up.
Yeah, go ahead.
That I did see this other day, and I know you got a little irate about it.
Uh-oh.
But your school bus bill.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up.
And also, when you get into this a little bit more, something else I saw that I think was really wrong what somebody did.
What's that?
What the news, how they reported it.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you reminded me of that.
Yeah,
we didn't set this up, did we?
No, we really didn't.
But I appreciate because you got better memory now.
Well, when I talk to you, and several times through the week, you'll talk different issues. And the one you really get to talk about, I said, we better bring this one up on the radio.
I get upset with the media. Truth is the foundation of our republic. And, folks and I have been, working hard on this bill and others in legislature. People don't know, they don't see the inside politics. I see Tennessee is the most restrictive in the world to drive a school bus. Mm-hmm. We talk about freedom. This should be a free state, and freedom to work, freedom for a career. I mean, we got guys over in the Middle East right now that sadly some of them aren't going to come home, and they're probably going to be in their early 20s. Mm-hmm. And the average age of a Vietnam vet was 23, and 50,300 of them guys never came home. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But anyways, it bothers me because I don't have a bunch of lobbyists out there helping me, and that's kind of the state of affairs today. But no, I'm just going to 23. I passed it. Committee. I got to go across the floor. The Senate passed it 100%, no problem. But after that terrible school bus incident, week and a half ago, I knew the media was going to reach out to me. My bill has nothing to do with that. That driver was 43 years old, if I'm not mistaken. But they always like to create division.
Right.
But, if you're going to create division, at least tell the truth.
Right.
Tell the truth. It was Channel 5. And we sent them a statement,
I see that's the
see
thing. I
that?
read the statement, and what I saw, that's not what you had on
Well,
that statement.
what's sad is the statement. I told our press guy, I said, man, let me use this as an opportunity to maybe offer some comfort to this family. So I just put it's an ongoing investigation, and I said, may Christ comfort the family with peace and understanding throughout this difficult time. And they took the whole comment out about Christ.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I'm not surprised.
And they also put the wrong age.
Yeah, they reported it's 21. They went back and
Well-
and they said it failed in the Senate. Here's our theory of what they did. And the reporter, I'm not going to say her name. I'm a forgiving guy, but she sent a statement and to us and apologized, said she was busy. But here's what I theorize what she did. I think she went to ChatGPT and just said, write me an article.
Well-
I mean this is a news network that you would think is pretty credible, but what is so sad when they take out they should be proponents of the First Amendment to eliminate my quote. There's no reason to do that. To just to censor Christ, just take it out. But here's what I've been saying for years as a Christian. These are spiritual battles. They're spiritual battles, and a lot of people don't see Ephesians 6:12 talks about this. But my wife, she knew I was a little upset. She said, call Nick Barris. I called Nick, and here's what was funny. I was on my way to Walgreens to get my blood pressure medicine, of all things. I'm about some irony in life.
I wonder why that blood pressure is
And
so
he
high.
was fixed to go sleep because he got to get up early. He called me next day. He's like, hey, man, how's your blood pressure? I'm like, well, it's still high, And but, he said that he had talked to her, and, she got messed up. But no, we're going to pass this bill next week and pass the Senate. But bus drivers don't have a lobbyist, man. This is what's sad. Now you got all these taxpayer-funded lobbyists who are making more than your representatives are, and that's a whole weird dichotomy now, if you will, for the state of our republic. But even though this is going to help taxpayers and help workforce development, but no, that happened. But anyways, it's I mean, it just adds to the foundation of the whole premise when I call out fake news, propaganda, agenda setting theory. I had a graduate class and it talks about agenda setting theory where they set the agenda and they just keep repeating and repeating to get you skewed, whether it's anti-Trump or Christian nationalism. They'll do this to just. Phil Williams is who's really guilty of it. I've said before they're not going to take on the issue of this abusive title pawn, check into cash, and what is the other one, advanced finance and title. He's never going to tell a story because they're making money on it.
Yeah.
But nobody sees this. I talk about the loneliness of politics. Hell, politics is lonely. I don't have an entourage of folks out there to help me. But one thing I do want to give a shout out to is the MTSU. I got invited to speak to the Omega Men, the Q Dogs. A lot of people may not know who Q Dogs are, but it's a black fraternity, and they're all real nice. I talking about being lonely. I was the only Republican in the entire event that I know of. My intern was there, Jacob Pagel, like Bagel, Jacob Pagel.
Yeah. Oh,
Bagel.
the guy that passed me on the steps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I saw that.
Jacob helped. I think Jacob kind of was involved in organizing it. But everybody's real sweet. Everybody's real nice.
Is that the one you got the award from?
No, that's Alphas.
Okay.
That's the other black fraternity. Yeah, it's
Okay.
kind of crazy. But God works in some mysterious ways.
Yeah.
Jeremy, how you been doing?
I'm good, Mike.
Heard y'all playing at church.
Yeah, the one person I didn't see there. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna put Roger on the spot. Yeah,
I had
no.
something
He
come
had
up
stuff
last
going on.
minute.
Yeah. Yeah, no. One person we did see there, Marty.
Yeah, glad to see Marty Lubman, Tony
Marty-
Campbell, Broadham, and
Marty,
Joe.
if you're listening, we were very glad to see you there. It was an honor to see Marty back, out in the general public eye. So
Well, folks don't know who we're talking about. Marty had a terrible wreck about 5 years ago, and sadly, he got where he just couldn't walk. And I couldn't imagine not have my mobility independence. You know what I mean? Roger, anything else going on?
No, just hit back on one more time what you said about that. On that school bus or the reporting they did.
Yeah.
I saw the printed item you handed to him.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, our press guy, Ben Whitehead, Ben's a great guy,
Yeah.
just a good good young Christian guy, and he was even shocked. And I said, "Man, have you seen this happen to anybody this year?" And he said, "No, not like it's happened to you." But really, here's what I've learned, man, throughout my life.
Yeah.
A lot of time, God is using hardship. He's using trials and tribulations to move us and shape us and moving forward. Like I told my wife, I said, man, God's got this. I was on Matt Murphy's show the other day talking about it because I'd seen where they had they were playing that clip of that NBA player, Jaden Ivey. Is that his name? Jaden Ivey?
I think, yeah. The one who was speaking out against
he was
what is it,
speaking out
Pride?
about the
Pride Night or something
Pride,
like that?
whatever. And, and I guess they canceled him.
Yeah.
So cancel culture is real, you know, and you shouldn't get canceled for
Well, he's standing up for his faith. He's standing up for his faith. That's great.
But anyways, no, it's been good, and you know, but I do think that I've just, you know, we don't see these things like the pastor talked about this today, Brother Shelby Hazard. We don't see how God's moving until maybe 6 months, till a year or two later.
Amen.
And what we think is hardship is much like Joseph in Genesis 50 verse 20. What someone meant for evil, God can use it for good and benefit us. But speaking of good, man, this is a hot place in here, man. This is like 85 degrees in here. I don't know if Brian's listening.
It went up. This thing went up 1 degree, 77.
Man, it is hot. And I'm saying, isn't it hot to you, Connor? Jesus, you think Ed Raymer can handle this heat? Huh?
Later at night.
It's later. Wonder if he'll be complaining too.
Probably.
You know,
Maybe we can leave this door open later on tonight because it is cooler in there. It seems.
man,
like.
I'm telling you, this place is hot as I've ever felt it in here. You know, well, the air was out. Was it last year?
No,
Was the
I think
AC was out last year?
Yes, that broke late in the summer.
Yeah,
but
man,
I think
it was
last
hot.
night
in
they
summer,
just
yeah.
they just had it off because it got cool last night. Nobody was here to turn it back on this morning.
Oh man, it's hot in this place. That's for sure. How's Sam Davis home going along?
It's a cool breeze coming out there. Yeah.
Yeah, how's Sam Davis home? Everything good?
It's doing good. Yeah, we got that preservation going on, which is a couple of years, and also, you know, we got that event. You know, Carl Voigt's having an event next
Oh
week.
yeah. I thought he was going to call in.
Oh, I hadn't talked to him, but he does have his event next Saturday.
Yeah,
at
next Saturday.
at the Creek House.
Carl
from,
Boyd,
9 to
County
11.
Commissioner for District.
I think what is his district? Is it 12?
I think it's 12.
Yeah, it's over at that Sam Davis Homes where his district
Well,
is.
his district off is Weekly Lane,
Yeah.
Seward, the Smyrna Airport,
Yeah.
back up in there.
Yeah, but he's got a
The
fundraiser
Oaks.
going on. So if you can help out Carl, he's a really
Carl's
good guy.
a good guy. He really is. You know, so
One of my old buddies from the old days. You
from
know?
9 to 11.
Yes.
Yeah, he used to work at the Omni Hut.
Yeah, and his dad worked at Genesco where I worked. I didn't know him, but I worked there at Genesco for 3 years.
Yep.
73 to 76.
Yeah, he worked at the Omni Hut. I just drove by the other day looking over. I wish somebody bring that place back, you know. Well, Connor, why don't we take a quick break? When we come back, we're going to have one of the sheriff candidates, Kenneth Barrett, and his family up with us. We'll be right back.
Josh Moss with Affordable Heating and Cooling provides residential HVAC and duct cleaning services to the Middle Tennessee area. With more than 20 years of experience, Josh Moss and the AHC team provide 24/7 service and take care to ensure whatever work you need done is done in a professional, timely manner. Contact AHC at 615-745-1676. That's 615-745-1676. Or go to their website at affordableheatingandcoolingtn.com.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps. But I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance policy perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Want a flawless look without the wait? Step into the Vanity Zone in Smyrna, where upscale style meets everyday convenience. Specializing in precision cuts, color services, waxing, and more for men, women, and kids. All delivered by highly trained stylists with an eye for detail. And don't miss the signature hot towel refresher, the perfect finishing touch that leaves you feeling clean, relaxed, and ready for anything. Walk in or book now the Vanity Zone in Smyrna. Looking your best is always in style.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
Hey, Middle Tennessee, it's Mark from the Safe House. Can I have your attention, please? I have an important announcement. Our president has a backbone. Thank you, President Trump. We sleep better knowing our country is protected. And speaking of protection, criminals laugh when you purchase a fake safe from a big box store. There's no better time than now than to visit the Safe House and see what a real safe looks like. Rebates now through the end of July on select brands. Our brands include Liberty, Fort Knox, and Browning. Drop by one of our locations or go to NashvilleSafeHouse.com. And remember, we don't just sell safes, we sell peace of mind.
AFFI is Middle Tennessee's premier choice for pest, wildlife, and moisture control. They specialize in those difficult and unique cases. You can reach them by phone at 615-300-2395. That's 615-300-2395. Or stop in at 200 Glenrose Lane in Smyrna.
My wife and I enjoy going by Yard Sale Inc. We usually go to both locations, the one in Smyrna as well as the one in Murfreesboro. A lot of times on Saturday mornings we stop by, and their inventory changes weekly, so you never know what you're going to see, and it's mostly open box. The name fits it. It's exactly that. It's a yard sale. If you don't totally agree with the price, the staff is always friendly and nice and willing to work with you.
That's the Yard Sale store in Smyrna at 111 Enon Springs Road West, in Murfreesboro at 204 South Front Street, and online at bestdealintown.com.
Hi, this is Allie Dowenhauer with Isaiah 117 House. Isaiah 117 House provides physical and emotional support for children awaiting foster care placement here in Rutherford County. We are changing the way foster care begins, and those kiddos are brought to our house to hang out and wait for a foster family, and they're given everything they need. We support foster children, DCS, and foster families here in Rutherford County. Visit us at www.isaiah117house.com or visit our Facebook page, Isaiah 117 House, Rutherford County.
Hello, I'm Roger, one of the tour guides at Sam Davis Home, 1399 Sam Davis Road in Smyrna. To learn more about Sam Davis, Smyrna's boyhood hero, we offer tours Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. No reservations required. To book a wedding, creek house rental, field trip, or any other event, contact Jenny Lamb, our director, at director@samdavishome.org. Visit our Facebook page or give us a call at 615-459-2341.
Hey, I'd like to tell you guys about Crusader Auto Works in Smyrna. About 4 years ago, we bought this facility. It's about a 25,000 square foot facility that handles all your automotive needs in the Smyrna, Tennessee marketplace. Everything from collision to full auto service and classic car restorations and customs. And so I think we're one of the only locations in Middle Tennessee, anywhere of that size and that capability that can handle any car need that you have, whether it's a modern day car, sports car, or a classic car of any kind. We can take care of what you need at Crusader Auto Works.
All right, we're back. We've got one of our sheriff's candidates, Kenneth Barrett, and his lovely wife, Sandy, right?
Yes, Sandy.
And now both y'all went to school here, didn't you?
Yes, sir. We both born and raised right here in Rutherford County.
Yep.
I graduated Oakland in 96.
96.
Raised up in the Walter Hill area. Still live out there on fourth generation property.
Yep.
Where we raise our girls at.
Really?
Yes,
Fourth
sir.
generation.
Fourth generation.
A lot of Barretts out there.
A lot of Barretts. Every community got their own section of Barretts, that's for sure.
Man.
Yes.
Now, you were saying you graduated Riverdale.
Yep, Riverdale in
Yeah.
1995. So
Yep.
we just attended Dr. Field Gala this week. So that was really good to see.
What was it?
Ricky Field, coach over there. Yeah, he's got a his first year gala. So that was really fun to go and see him get honored and give scholarships out to some deserving candidates that are going off to college.
Wow.
So
It's pretty cool to see how many people he's touched in his lifetime out here in Rutherford County.
Yeah. Now, why are you running for office, and why should everybody vote for you?
Yes, sir. I started my career at 20 years old at Rutherford County Sheriff's Office as a corrections officer. Moved into patrol. Shortly after that, I got into a lot of proactive units. I worked narcotics, interstate interdiction, K9, crime suppression. Then I started moving my way through the ranks. I'm senior lieutenant now on patrol. Second generation deputy also. My dad started there in 78, which he passed away in 05. He was a captain there at the sheriff's office. I've seen, been through 3 different administrations. I've seen what works, what doesn't work. I have a servant's heart and servant-style leadership. I like holding people accountable, and I think one thing we've really struggled on is just keeping the community involved, being very transparent, and just holding people accountable and having a vision to move forward. We're one of the biggest agencies in the state. We need to start acting like it and start valuing our employees and valuing the community, keeping everybody involved.
Let's go back. You said your father passed in 05. What happened, if you don't mind me asking?
He had several different issues with him, heart issues, liver issues, things like that. And then ultimately the medicines and everything just...
Yeah. How old were you when your dad passed?
He has been gone 20 years, so I was 28 years old.
Oh, wow. I was 36 when my dad passed. I had something happen the other day. My dad was in World War II, and there's this group that he was, his military group, 487th, flying out of Lavenham, England, and I'd posted, somebody shared a story about their father, and I said, man, I wish I could find a picture of my dad, and I mentioned the name, and some guy found it, and that was so cool.
That is awesome.
In fact, they found that pile. I remember my dad telling me the story when he was shot down, but yeah, I had a tough relationship with my dad. Was you and your dad close?
We was very close. Just sheriff's department. That's one reason I wanted to become a sheriff's officer. Just he'd come home in his uniform, and back in those days, if we needed to be dropped off somewhere, he'd pick me up in the patrol car and take me to a ball game or to my mom's work. When she was getting off, so we could go do something. And I'll never forget just sitting in the patrol car and listening to that radio. And a lot of times he'd have to respond to something, but that was in the 80s, so times have changed and things we can't do nowadays. But it's definitely. I worked several different jobs. I started working when I was 14 years old at Jefferson Pike Market, and then did several different things at DMIS and Nissan and roadway trucking, and just wasn't for me. I knew I wanted to be a police officer, and so I started when I was 20 years old.
Yeah. Now I was asking your lovely wife, because I don't know about y'all's race, and I see a few things out there, but I said, have you started crying yet? And is it okay to put you on the spot?
Yeah, sure.
And we're
transparent, honest about anything.
And
so.
what was you saying?
I said, yeah, sure. This is very emotional. It's been tough, and so we said, if anything that's come great out of this, it's just made our relationship with God closer and our family closer. Kenneth is not. I am a little biased, but he is probably the best person I know as far as honesty and integrity. And you hear that from yourself, but when you hear it from the community, people that will say, I went to school with him and he's the same as he was in kindergarten, as he was in high school, as he is today. And if he says he's going to do something, by God, he's going to do it.
Yeah,
and
elections are rough.
People, they attack that. And, we've got good support and good prayers, and it's amazing.
I remember, I think I was sharing with you.
Can I jump in on that real quick? Like the other day, I dropped my wife off to get her hair done. And there's this little office back there, a lady doing somebody's hair. And it had a big sign up, Barrett's, Kenneth Barrett, sheriff. And I heard this lady talking. It was all good stuff. And I go, I know him. I told her, that's my brother-in-law.
Oh.
And I thought but it was all good. Whoever it was just, it wasn't like I wasn't getting dirt. Oh, I got dirt here, Kenneth.
Right.
Well, they didn't know me from Adam. I was sitting back in there like in the lobby waiting. And man, that was really a good conversation.
Yeah. No, I've seen my wife cry many a times.
Yeah, you get invested, and
you
want to be. Mama Bear wants to come out, and and luckily he's very level-headed and calm, and he says, "Babe, I've almost died 20 times. Are you kidding? This is okay." And so, but as a wife and a mother, and you want to be protective, and thank goodness it's taught me a lot about patience. So
gotta have patience.
It's definitely something craziest thing I've ever done, for sure. And just we got such a great team for our campaign, the manager, our social media, everybody involved, and we're not paying a penny for anybody. So they want to strike back when things are said or done, and it's always pulling back the reins and say, hey, we're not dropping to that level. We're going to hold everything at a very positive level, and just being truthful. I think that's the whole thing. If it's not true, don't say it. Just be honest, and that's all about your integrity. Who you are as a person, and I've been around this town a long time, and I think that's why we have the support we have. Is they know, just like she said a while ago. I like to think I've moved through the ranks. I'm a senior lieutenant now, and it's just telling people what's true. Sometimes the truth hurts, but I think people that ask me, they know if you don't want to know the truth, you better not ask.
My wife, I remember years ago, she was like, are you going to respond to these attacks? And I was like, in due time. I just waited for the right moment. And but politics is nasty, man. Been through all that stuff. I lost. If you lost any weight, not that you need to lose weight or anything. If you lost any, because I got down to 165 pounds about 8 years ago. Man, they were hating on me. Fake news, propaganda, and fake news is real, man.
I'm a stress eat,
But you know what I did? I just made it a positive. I thought, you know what? I'm going to get some exercise out of this thing, and I had the Nolensville area back up here in Laverne at Zip Code, and there's a lot of hills up there. The steps, and I'd get out of my vehicle, I'd jog up them steps, and I'd come back down. I had a lady, it was funny, she said, hey, I see where your opponent's giving you a hard time because you said you chose to hang out with the black folks instead of hanging at MTSU, and she's like, I was curious why you would do that, and it ended up being a positive, but I ended up, give God the glory, I ended up getting $250,000 for a grant last year for the cemetery community over there to restore those schools.
That's awesome.
And a lot of times, sometimes people don't have a voice. And my old buddy Frank Carpenter, who passed away a few years ago, who's got me involved with that. Vincent Windrow, the pastor, Bo Weiss, I don't know if you know Bo. She was a teacher 40 years at Smyrna Primary. But anyways, something I'm proud of. Shane Reeves helped me with it, and Trey Hargett, Secretary of State, was over there. But sometimes those attacks can help you,
Yeah.
But fortunately, you got a good wife that's out there supporting you, man.
Yeah, very strong family. Yes, wife, she heads up and holds everything together. I promise.
Was she a good cook?
Yeah. This year we haven't had a chance to eat at home.
Oh, you hadn't?
Yeah, we hit the ground running in January 2025. So we started a campaign early, and we're still working full time. She's running a business and seeing.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about the business.
Yeah, so we opened Silver Hill Medical Clinic almost 9 years ago. I was at MMC for a long time, and we did not have a clinic out that way or something to service our area in Walter Hill. And so there had been one that had closed, the school one had closed, and so we just saw a need out there and just jumped in.
And where is that located again?
We are on Lebanon Road. So there's a strip mall just past Walter Hill Bridge on the left. It's got Dollar General. And,
I've been over
we're in that strip mall called Silver Hill Medical Clinic. People say, why is it Silver Hill? And I said, well, that's technically where Ken is from, is Silver Hill community. So
I've seen it on the tornado. When they do the tornado warnings, I've heard it come
that's
up.
Right. Always people
Silver
ask that.
Hill, take cover,
Every time.
So, all right, so there's Walter Hill. What's the difference between Walter Hill and Silver Hill?
If you go past Walter Hill, about 2 miles.
Oh, is it? Okay.
About 2 miles.
Okay.
Yeah, you go past Walter Hill. Yes, sir.
That's where my dad was born, Mike.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah. Randy was a Barrett, so.
Yeah.
Wonder if he knows the inside scoop on East Fork.
I don't know.
I went and did the tour on the. You talking about the tour?
No.
Okay,
the old boat ramp.
Okay.
Back in the day, Rogers people would hang out there. They'd all hang out and stuff, have fun.
Hey,
Anyways,
I need somebody if you really want a testimony. We got his girls over
Yeah. Which daughter? Just jump in here.
That's Kylie.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest. I'm 21. Yes, I can do that. Just graduated from MTSU in December with a degree in biochemistry, but I'm going back to school in July to medical school.
All right. You got your other girl?
Yeah, Ellie.
Ellie, hop up there.
I'm Ellie. I'm 15. I just got my permit. I go to Middle Tennessee Christian School, so they've been letting me drive, and they haven't freaked out too much. My sister has. We've just been trying to learn, I guess. But I cheer at school, and I hang out with my friends. Just pretty normal life. Help my dad.
Is your dad? What's your opinion? Is your dad a pretty cool guy?
Oh, me first. I said earlier, my dad, I don't want to start crying or anything, but he's the same person at home that he is everywhere else. We
You
love
can
him.
get me crying.
Yes, I
Go ahead.
I'm a little less emotional, but my dad is a lot of fun, and he's so nice all the time. He works for everything that we have, and I really just love him for that, and he supports us through everything. He's always here for us to have fun, if we're sad, if just whatever. He's always there, and like Kylie said, he just loves his job. He's the same at home as he is at work. He's super passionate about what he does, which I just love. I think he's shown us how to be passionate about things that we love to do too.
Well, he's got a couple of great daughters right now. I can,
Yeah.
I can tell that right now.
Got to get tissue out. Well, going back on one thing I do like that Truman would do, Truman Jones, he always liked the officers to join in the corrections, being correctional officer first.
Yes, sir.
Why do you think? And looking back, I think it is important. Why do you think it's important and his the way he viewed that?
We hire a lot of young guys, and a lot of the guys are under the age of 21, and they have to learn how to talk to people. And the inmates you're dealing with in jail, you still got to show them dignity.
Yeah.
They made a mistake. They're paying their price. They're in jail, but you got to treat them with respect, a certain level of respect, which they have to give the same level of respect back. And it just, you're in a controlled environment at that point, so you really learn how to deal with inmates in that environment and how to treat them like I said, with dignity. And then when they get out on the streets, they can help you. If you're treating them good inside the jail as an inmate, they respect you, and you're treating them good. Then once you come in contact with them out on the streets, they'll also help you out there.
So you run into folks?
Yes, you constantly run into the same people, same family, and they'll spread word about you. And I think that's something that I've done, and their families, I have a lot of their families support me. I still have a lot of those guys call me. If something starts to get them down and they've been off of drugs and alcohol for a while, they will call me if something's bothering them, and I'll try to talk them through it.
Yeah. Well, how big, when you look at the jail capacity, because, y'all are facing to build a new jail, I've talked about the state capitol, and even our leader, when I brought up, I think I quoted Rick Hall sent me a text, and Mayor Carr sent me a text to ask TDOC and others that were in finance, we're going to have to probably build a new state prison, and prisons and jails are very, very expensive. How low are y'all on officers? I know Metro has been real low on officers. And I don't know about their jail, but how are y'all doing as far as staffing?
It's hard to retain people at the sheriff's office. We go through stages over the years since I've been there where we'll start training people, get them on the road, and then somebody else will pay more money and they'll leave.
Yes.
We'll be used as a training grounds. And at one point several years ago, we called up where we was somewhere in the ballpark of Murfreesboro and Highway Patrol and Franklin and Metro, and now we're slipping back away from it. And it all goes into leadership also. You got to really value your employees. Our county government has to value the employees, Rutherford County employees, and we all got to work together and let them know, hey, they will work for a little less money as long as that good, strong, professional culture is there, as long as it's positive, and you got to make it fun for people to come work, and they got to know you care about them, and that's what I want to build. I want to build that culture to let them know, hey, we value you. We got to have you. I can't do it by myself. You got to have a strong team around you.
Well, how much? What percentage you reckon folks in the jail are dealing with just addiction or alcoholism?
I think I don't have an exact number or percentage, but most of your crimes, I feel like, goes back into some type of an addiction, whether it's alcohol or drugs, because that goes into your burglaries.
Mm-hmm.
They stealing stuff or breaking in places to get money for the drugs, and plus they're not thinking clearly. All the way down to domestic assaults, car thefts, whatever it may be. A lot of times it all bleeds back into some type of addiction.
Yeah. Well, what you have any creative solutions right now? I know that the county has worked hard with the opioid abatement fund that came in, and got to give shout out to Craig Harris on that, and others that's been supportive. But I know in Nashville, you look at our state inmate population. I mean, it's hard to get corrections officers in there. We had one stabbed and killed last month. It's just sad, you know, that guy left, I think it was a 32-year-old widow behind. I believe he was 34. And Ed Butler, the representative for that area, was telling me just last week, he said, man, he had a list of everything he was doing to help inmates, you know, what they were needing, had the whole list, and the guy just, you know, stabbed him, and it's just sad. So that doesn't help on recruiting when somebody here sees something that's that horrific, you know.
Exactly.
But you got one of your friends come up here. Tell us about who this guy is.
It's Keith Bratcher. Buddy of mine. I've been knowing Keith a long time. He is retired Murfreesboro firefighter, which my brother also retired from Murfreesboro. Jimmy Barrett just retired from the fire department last July. So I've been knowing Keith for a long time. Good guy.
Keith, how you doing?
Doing good, Mike. How you doing, man?
Doing good. You keeping them roads paved?
Trying to.
I seen one today.
Time of year.
I thought about you today. I cut through the base on the backside, and I thought I'd just take a different way. I was carrying some food to my mother-in-law. Mother-in-law just had knee surgery, and I cut through out there and come up Fitzhugh Drive. Sheriff Fitzhugh's father. Did you ever know his dad?
Yeah,
Steve?
I did not know his
Steve
dad.
was a
I've
great
always heard
guy.
about him, yes.
I had him on the radio years ago, and we were promoting our fish fry, you know, the rotary fish fry, and man, he said whatever's on his mind, and he got shot over Korea, and got shot in the buttocks, but I think he just used the word, and I was like, man, we got to be careful of language up here. But yeah, he was shot over Korea. He would share that story, but he was such a great guy, man, and I got him on video. One of the shows we recorded, Brian Barrett and I, Ian Arsenault that worked for me, we would record some of those shows, and he was just such a hoot, man, and I miss that guy. He was just part of that. He really wasn't the greatest generation, but he was close. He had a lot of influence from that World War II generation, you know. But I cut through there and thought about Keith because, man, that road paved right there in front of the Tennessee Rehabilitation Center, all looks good, man.
Yeah, the highway department, man, they do a great job. I know we've had many conversations about that. I brag on all the time, but yeah. Known Kenneth a long time, worked with his brother for many years at the fire department. I know Kenneth came to me, it's been, like over a year ago, and said he was deciding he was going to run for sheriff and asked me for my support and stuff. So I've known Kenneth a long time. And like I say, he's been there at the sheriff's department. He's moved up in rank, and he's been all aspects of the sheriff's department. I know he's K-9, interstate interdiction, so he's definitely has the qualifications to be our next sheriff. So,
well, you know how I first met this guy?
How'd you meet him?
I was on he probably don't want me to share it, but we were. I was new on the county commission, and I knew him not real good, but I thought, man, this guy serves a lot of boards. I had a problem with conflicts of interest and all that kind of stuff, and then I got to know the guy, and I was like, I'm glad this guy serves on some boards because one thing about him, he's passionate. You know, I got him one of my TV news classes at MTSU. I had to go pitch a story, like a news story. So I told my professor, hey, man, I got this guy. He's retiring after 34 years on the job. And if you go to YouTube, type in Keith Bratcher, Murfreesboro Fire Department, even though it's amateur, but it's a cool story. And who's that guy that makes fun of your accent? What's that guy's name?
Gosh. You put me on the spot. I can't remember his name right now. But
is it Keith or
no?
The curly hair guy,
Dwayne O'Donnell.
Yeah, O'Donnell. Yeah, and I said, give us your pitch, man. He's got this real. He can imitate Keith. And Keith, you want to say what he said?
Yeah, he was just. I've always, and I know I sound that way now. When I'm on the radio, I sound country, but I mean, I'm from the South. I'm supposed to sound country. but I was like, man, this guy. You know he's got to be a great guy. Me and him share the same initials. Keith Bratcher, Kenneth Barrett, man.
Oh, wow. No, oh, boy, he says, he goes, 34 years, long time, something like that. And I just couldn't help but laugh. It was funny, but I was able to capture that. But one thing that I like, Keith's been on with us a few times, and you brought that, you brought the chaplain up from the fire department.
Yes.
You remember him?
Yes.
Nice guy.
Yep.
And one of the areas I've cared about or tried to pay attention to is post-traumatic stress among law enforcement and firefighters. And at first, I really didn't pay no attention to it because I remember him talking about like war, combat. And I didn't really take it seriously at first until I started hearing some stories, man. And I like it. What's that guy's name? Is it Cunningham? Is it Ben Cunningham?
Ben Honeycutt.
Ben Honeycutt. I remember I'd go to the firefighter reception at the municipal auditorium. They do a great job. They probably put on the best. Well, it's the only reception I go to, and they always have Uncle Bud's catfish and chicken there. So I'll get
That's
a
why
big
you
to go box home.
That's what they
But great guys. But I asked this guy, I said, man, how do you chill? How do you kind of decompress? Through a busy day, or you see something bad. And I wasn't expecting this. Dude said sometimes I call my mom. I was like, oh my gosh.
You're right.
I was not expecting that, but because my mother's not here anymore, and I thought, wow, how many men could relate to that,
I think he really said, I call my mama.
Yeah, it was a mama.
That's good you say that. And law enforcement, is huge, and so that's one thing I want to start as a chaplain program, kind of twist it with a peer support. That way if the guys go out, whether it's corrections, detectives, or patrol, whoever it is, SROs, if they're dealing with something that's bothering them, I want them to have someone to talk to, whether it may just be a divorce or something, a family issue, and you got somebody there who's a chaplain, plus being on peer support. We can put them in a patrol car with them 2 or 3 hours or a whole shift or whatever, and let them talk to them, let them know that's they can get it off their chest and work through it.
Yeah, our pastor is a chaplain, Shelby Hazard. With Sheriff's Parkway Baptist, but the area of mental health. Keith had shared some stories with me that I wouldn't want to talk about them here on air, but it's a serious issue, man. What astonished me when I started looking at this is a firefighter is more likely to take their own life than to lose their life in the line of duty.
Yes, law enforcement same way.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's very dangerous. A lot of people hold it in, and they feel weak if they let someone know that they're struggling with something. And that's one thing that I'm trying to do is just say, hey, if you have an issue, let me know. I'll get you some help. We will find somebody for you to talk to. It's not a weakness. It's a strength to be able to admit that, hey, I'm having an issue. Yeah. And when I started 28 years ago, it was right opposite. If we'd said something like that, the broad said, hey, you probably need to find another job. Yeah. But nowadays, it's really we're doing good, but we can always do better.
Yeah, I know Bernard Salandy and I have always been pretty close. And when I was on the county commission, the area of addiction and mental health was always something that I cared about. And I remember to ask Bernard Salandy. I always got along good with him. Now I butted heads with Truman a little bit, and I don't know if he's listening, but love Truman. No disrespect. I mean,
love him too.
He was there a long time, but he was pretty old school. And no doubt. And I think some elements is good, like everybody going into corrections. I think that's good because you can learn to de-escalate. You can learn to kind of deal with what a problem is. And I asked Bernard, I remember saying, man, what's the silver bullet, man? And I've shared this at the state capitol. I get his weight wrong and his height wrong. I say he's like 6'2", 280, and I think he said he's lost some weight since he heard people call him. They're like, hey, man, Mike Stark's talking about you. But I said, man, what's the silver bullet to help people? You know what he told me? He said, man, it's the gospel, it's the Bible. He said, I've seen that do more to change people's lives around than anything.
Right.
And I think with the area chaplain, that's why if you heard me earlier, Channel 5 took my quote out, where I said, may Christ comfort the family with peace throughout this difficult journey. And they literally censored my quote. Isn't that sad?
Yeah. Anytime when you say something, if that's what you're saying, that's what you mean.
Exactly. You wouldn't think they'd eliminate your quote, but hey, I mean, it's I don't understand their line of reasoning with it. But like I say, I talked to one of the other guys, Chris. He covers the state capitol. I say, hey man, I don't mind doing an interview with her once this bill passes, And but no, the area of mental health and some of that, because you think about the guy that killed that correctional officer. I would argue it's a mental health issue. That guy's going through something, and maybe I don't know what the answers are, but the challenges are enormous.
Exactly, and that's one thing through this campaign. We've really reached out to a lot of the nonprofit organizations here in Rutherford County, and you're always stronger when you're working together with other areas, and so that's one part that I want to build on once taking office and get our corrections to really reach out and see how we can get the inmates more programs while they're there, for one thing, and number two is set them up for success when they leave. And I know we're not going to help 100%, but if we can get a few, we're doing great.
You know, the other day I shared this. The governor came in to Men of Valor, and they had 2,000 folks there, big crowd at Mississippi Center. And shout out to them for donating the facility. And the governor got up and spoke and said that they had been reaching out to him to help Jelly Roll on his record, trying to get his record cleaned up. And he said Jelly Roll. We met him at the residence. And so the governor said, the Jelly Roll told him, said, man, I remember you coming to the jail at Harding Correctional Center to speak with Men of Valor. And he said he was in a different, what do you call them? Not ward, what do you call them? Pods or something. And he got moved over. He requested to get moved. And the guy was like, correctional officer, hey, man, you come over here and the Men of Valor's going to be over here. And he said he heard the governor speak. And then the governor told him, he said, who would have thought that, 12 years later, whatever it is, I'd be the governor issuing you a pardon and you'd be Jelly Roll today. And the one thing about Jelly Roll, and I've never got to meet the guy. I want him to come up and sing Amazing Grace. And if we don't do it this year, I hope he can make it next year. But, man, that guy's going to touch a lot of lives.
Yes, he is.
And a lot of people could relate to him.
I would love to have him come to an event. That'd be outstanding. Yes.
Well, hopefully, if you win this thing, you can get him out there.
Yeah, 100%. I love touch base with him, yes.
Well, what do you have I know this jail is going to be, 300, 320, 330?
That's what they're saying, yeah.
But that's alarming. When I start seeing, I call it cracks in the foundation, because if we're having the challenge of building a school, but we got to build a jail, I mean, it's worrisome, I see Metro. I don't know if y'all ever drive from, Laverne to Una, Antioch much. Mm-hmm. In the mornings?
Not in the morning.
Oh, dude, it's
I go
terrible.
about a mile.
Oh, it's terrible. Oh, you just down the road. No, I mean, I've been given a nurse
She goes
ride.
from Silver Hill to Walter Hill.
2 miles. But, man, hey, dude, it's a different day in Nashville.
Yeah.
My father-in-law, we were watching the news earlier, and, he had brought up, the mayor was saying the crime was down. My father-in-law was like, I don't know how crime's down in Nashville. There's usually a murder every day.
Right.
Yeah.
That guy was running from law, stole that truck, and killed that young girl today. You see that right there at Laverne?
I haven't had a chance to look at it today.
Yeah. In fact, the wreck happened, and I named that bridge after Tim Tomlin a few years back. But, man, I was calling Metro, and I've said this in committee in finance with TBI and Homeland Security. I said, you try to call Metro, 862-8600, you're going to be put on hold.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, those are cracks in the foundation right there.
Exactly.
And I did request some troopers to get out there. We've got a lot of troopers. Man, it seems like, I'm not saying it be smart, it seems like we got a lot of cops in Rutherford County, man. I mean, it seems like some need to go to Nashville.
Yeah, well, in Rutherford County, we're short, that's for sure. 2025 on average, I'd run my shift with about 8 or 9 deputies a day. And, we was 1 or 2 major incidents away from not having anyone. You take a bad crash on I-24, you're looking at 3 or 4 deputies right there. So half your shift's down. Then if you have 1 or 2 domestics or something going on, you're down.
Yep.
So we gotta boost it up. But we have more troopers assigned to Rutherford County right now than we have in a while. And one thing too, the Governor's Highway Safety, the money we get from them, we're paying a lot of deputies overtime and troopers, Murfreesboro, and they're out here hitting, looking for DUIs and traffic offenses and things like that. That's the reason it looks like it may be more than what
I've done a ride along with, who is it? Is it Miller, used to be sergeant or lieutenant with THP in Murfreesboro?
Yes.
Done a ride along with one of his guys.
You in the back seat? Or?
And then I did did a ride along with Chris Beach and some others. But that's when y'all were short-handed on that. Now I see a lot more troopers today, big time.
Yeah, we have more troopers right now than we had for a long time, and the numbers show it. I mean, Rutherford County's grown, and we have a lot of crashes, so we need them. We need them for sure.
Now, did you have any mentors that's kind of influenced you over the years other than your father?
Yeah, I've had a lot of guys that I really look up to. Chris Haynes is one of the guys that he's my lieutenant out on interstate. Mm-hmm. He cared for us. Truman Jones, I can't say enough for Truman. He loved his men. He loved his community, and he took care of everyone. And he's just a great person. But Chris Haynes, as far as hands-on, just being a very smart guy, he would take care of his men, and he valued us. He let us know we did a great job every single day that was there. And he's a type of dude that you wanted to go work for him. Yeah. And that's the type of guy I want to be. you want to go to work for this guy because you know when you're out there doing right, he's going to let you know, and when you need to be corrected, he's going to let you know that too. And just that's the way you learn.
Well, I had
about accountable.
I went through TDOC's academy a few years back, and TBI's academy probably 8 or 10 years ago, and it was Commissioner Schofield at the time with TDOC, and it was probably a class of about 20, and we were at the old castle, out there near the old jail, old prison.
Oh, out off of
and well, it's an auxiliary building near there, but they had a mock jail set up, and they had the correctional officers, and it was a whole mock situation. They go in there, it's all dressed up like SWAT, and took this guy down, and Schofield says, anybody have any questions after? And I just asked him, I said, well, did anybody ask the guy what's going on? I mean, did you not send a nurse over there and to kind of find out what this guy's dealing with, to kind of de-escalate? And he said, oh, like that. He said, oh, we normally do that. I said, but man, you didn't do it just now. Sometimes I think a woman, I mean, you've seen that? I think sometimes a woman can de-escalate something rather than a tackleberry. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
You put a rough situation, you send a tackleberry in it, you're going to have a problem.
Right.
But a lot of times a woman can calm it down. I mean, am I right or wrong?
I agree with you, Mike. You're the smartest person in
no,
here.
I'm just saying. But see, I'll tell you what, I'm always reminded of the late Sally Walls. I consider her a mentor. Yes. I ended up preaching her funeral. But when I was a kid, I know we don't have much time left, but I got set up by a bad cop when I was a kid, and that's always stuck with me. I was in my 68 Camaro, and the guy was wrecking traffic, and when I pulled up, he just gave me this cold stare and looking at me, and like, are you idiot? You going to go? And I just drove left, and he called in the back up. It was Ken Atkin, wrote me a ticket. I went to Sally. I said, Sally, he would not give me direction. I was just a little young guy, 17, and but I made a complete stop. He just dropped his hand staring at me, and she said, let me have that ticket. I showed her the ticket. She goes, look at the ticket. She goes, that dude's a bad cop. He's a bad cop. She said, don't you worry about this. I got this. So I shared it at the funeral because I said, sadly, a bad cop could have got me on the wrong side of the law because she knew I was honest. That's why the power of a mentor it should be there, but that's always kind of stuck with me. And I shared that at Probation Pro with Justin Bashir, and I shared that story, and they issued him a full pardon. Then I had to meet with the governor. Justin turned his life around, got in trouble when he was 18, 19. But, he had a mentor come in his life, and that's why, we got to reach these young cats, man, that are screwing up so bad.
You got to start early. That's right. And sometimes you got to put yourself in their shoes, as a police officer, say, okay, if this was me, how would I want to be treated? All the way down to how you talk to them. I always say, if you don't want your mama talk to you that way, your wife talk to you that way, or your daughter talk to you that way, treat them the way you want to be treated and talk to the people the way they need to be, lead them with dignity when you get done.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
and little education is always the best.
Yeah. I think one of the best things that I've heard Kenneth say is to a lot of people is they're not a bad person. They've made a bad decision.
Yep.
And it's up to us to help guide them and give them resources to not make that bad decision again. And that's huge, and you're right. So
because going back with Sally, I know how Sally would have acted. She'd have fired up a cigarette, and she'd have walked over. Hey, what's going on? What are you doing?
That's right.
Well, man, I just got a letter from my old lady, and she broke up with me, or my dad died, and she's like, I'm sorry, and she could relate to people.
Yes.
And that's she was. I watched her go through the police academy. I was like 10 years old, and they built a wall, and she wasn't like these girls that's in good shape. I mean, she had some weight on, I'm just saying, And but hey, man, she was determined. She'd run, couldn't make it. Run, couldn't make it. Run, couldn't make it. And finally, she made it. She wouldn't let things keep her back. And that was back in the day when women didn't go become a police officer.
Right.
But man, she showed them. I've seen her fight two guys in front yard and whip their tails out there when I was a kid, man.
Well, I think it takes all kinds for sure. Women, men, diversity. Everybody relates to someone differently, and Kenneth says that a lot.
Well, your voice is so smoothing, so it's like
right.
soothing. You know what I mean? So you could call people down.
Don't be trying to give her another job.
Oh, really? No. But it really is powerful. Because I'll be honest with you, as a taxpayer, I'm tired of funding knuckleheads. I think most people say, I'm tired of we got to fund a $300 million jail that we can't build schools.
Sure.
So people need to start waking up, whether it's our churches or pastors, But we wish you the best of luck. We're going to have who we got coming up next week. Randy Allen will be up next week, and we're going to have your other folks that's run against you. So I appreciate everybody coming in.
Thanks for having us.
All right,
thanks for having us, Mike.
It's been outstanding.
Y'all take care. See you next week, folks.